Aliens, UAPs, UFOs, EIAs, the government, Trump. What is going on in this world? Why is everybody freaking out? Let me take an astrological look at this so that you understand what's going on, in a timely manner. This is really tied into Uranus, which is moving into Taurus, but Pluto, who's been in Capricorn, not Aquarius. This is not the age of Aquarius, according to NASA. Let's take a look. Do you have anything to fear? 100%? Absolutely. But forewarned is forearmed, and that's what I'm here. Do you have hope to gravitate towards and see a clear future? Do I see that? 100%. And I'm going to share that with you as well. Now, can you see right over here? See that little flashing? That is where Pluto is. It looks like it says Mercury. Mercury's the white dot right there. This is the sun. And it's so small, can't even see it. That is Pluto. Obviously, Capricorn is right here. It's very far away from Aquarius. So there's no age of Aquarius going on. This is an astronomy for astronomers website, stellarium.com. You can also take a look at the Sidereal ephemeris. Now, Pluto is in Capricorn. It's going to stay there 18, almost 19 years. Normally, it's between 11 and 31 years. And as you can see here, when did it start? February 2020. What happened in February 2020? It was about control, getting our control back, noticing that there is control going on in the world and that it's complete chaos and out of control. And that's what Pluto does. Pluto just blows things up, and it takes a look of generation and generation of historical trauma and heals it. Pluto is the healer. It's also around past lives. When I'm looking at people's past lives, I look at where their Pluto is. But let's take a look at Uranus. So we're not in the age of Aquarius. Now let's take a look at Uranus, because this is what I want to point towards that's going on with all of the AUPs and UFOs and alien stuff going on here. Starting in June 2024 is when Uranus started to enter into Taurus, and that's going to be a 7.1 year cycle. There's a ton of stuff that I'm predicting that's going to be happening between 2026 and 2027. You can look back at some of my videos, and it's going to culminate between 2030 and 2032. This is extremely important because Taurus has a lot to do with money, but also about being grounded and realistic and being practical and rational. But Uranus is the exact opposite. It's about being different and unique and a little bit wacky and radical and irrational and unpredictable. So what we're going to do is that these unpredictable events are going to start to be rationalized, where, for instance, aliens. Was there aliens? Is there anything to do with aliens? People that are love to follow that type of works and Star Trek, they're fascinated by it. They always have been. They're the ones that are all going to Comic-Con and all these other events. If you were to ask me 10 years ago, and I knew somebody quite well who 100% believed in aliens, and I said, I'm not going to disbelieve you. I'm not going to disbelieve it, but there's no proof for me. No grounded proof, nothing I've experienced that would make me believe that aliens exist. Well, I feel totally different in the last 5 years, only because I've encountered people that I know that are not BSers. And now we're coming out with people that are coming from the military, the Navy, the Army. Search it on YouTube, and Stephen Greer is one of the ones that's facilitating this. They're presenting it to Donald Trump as we speak. They want full disclosure. They want people to know that the government has been hiding from us, not only that UFOs, aliens exist, but they're also hiding reverse technology in the healthcare industry, renewable energy or free energy, as well as transportation. They're hiding from us. They're using it for their gain, for their purpose, but they don't want us to have access to this. I am following this quite closely. You can also take a look at this one.
Special correspondent Ross Coulthard. Ross, it is always so good to see you. Let's start with what Representative Burchett says that an admiral told him, an extremely fast-moving underwater UFO. What do you make of this? How does this line up with accounts that you have heard? And do you think we'll see more people in high-level positions coming out with these accounts of UFOs?
G'day, Natasha. Lovely to speak to you again. Look, I've heard this story before. I've heard multiple accounts of objects moving at ridiculous speeds underwater. I've actually spoken to submariners in both the American military and also the Australian military who've told me that they've recorded objects moving at over 1,000 kilometres an hour underwater. That's faster than the speed of sound.
Okay, so I won't continue with this. You can do your own research on it. But this is one of the shocking news that's going to be continuing to come out. And I'm going to give you specific dates in which this will blow people out of the water. No pun intended. My problem with this is that because it's Uranus, the planet Uranus, it's going to create a divide, a drastic, warlike, stubborn, angry, feisty divide. A lot of it will be over money and finances. Why is our government spending all of this money and time on these particular events? Who really cares? How does it benefit us? And then people are going to consider each other quacks, like you're wacko. You really think this is real, that the news is coming out? Until Donald Trump, and I'm Canadian, remember, I'm your Canadian astrologer here at Askhollyhall.com, announces it. And even then, the people that are anti-Trump are going to be all over him, okay? He's really lost his shit now because now he believes in aliens. Now let's take a look at this. And this is when there's going to be a huge blow up, a resistance against proof, like logical, rational in mid-April. This is also a financial crash, which I've talked about before. And people start becoming fearful around their money and their finances and their stuff and their home. I want you to, if you get a chance, and I believe on Pluto TV, which is a free TV that you can find online, you get the app on your smart TV, there is a show, and I watched this show. I was addicted to this show, which is actually done by Gene Roddenberry. Remember him? Yes, Star Trek. He came out with this, I can't remember, like 20 years ago. And like I said, you can watch it on Pluto. And this is exactly what I think is going to happen. We're going to see this somewhat play out. Not exactly like this, but somewhat play out, where they're going to share with us our technology. When you watch the movie or the TV series, you can see that there are the good guys and the bad guys of these aliens. I'm not sure around, and there's infiltration of good government and bad government. But anyways, it's a TV show, but I see something like this playing out. So when are these dates? As I mentioned, it's April of 2025 and also November and December. We want to look at somewhat 0 degrees, okay? So we're getting close to it in December and January. What will be interesting is taking a look at the U.S. chart, because I believe that the U.S. is going to be very pivotal in sharing this news with people. Now, this is interesting because in the U.S. chart, Uranus is about to enter the 6th house, which is the workforce and the healthcare industry. Not both together, workforce. So you're basically your basic factory worker, your basic line worker, your basic worker that works in grocery stores and tellers at banks, etc., as well as radical changes in that area, as well as radical changes in the healthcare industry. So is this all UFO stuff all intertwined? Who knows? Uranus is very unpredictable, as I've always said. And then we've got Pluto going through the 2nd house, which is finances and wages and income. Let's take a close look at that. And it's going to hit Mercury at 2 degrees in June, July. Chart for the United States, and that's in the 8th house. Oh my gosh. So the 8th house is psychiatry and psychology, but it's also taking a look at other people's resources, other countries' resources. 12 months, they were going to slowly be disclosing everything that they knew. People, keep an open mind. Uranus is all about blending, in Taurus, is all about blending, keeping an open mind, and understanding that there are things we just don't understand, and be open. Don't start jabbing at each other, yelling at each other, boycotting each other, calling each other crazy and loony. Like, have we not learned from the past, in the past 4 years? It doesn't really work. It makes no difference. A new technology that comes out in June and July that will show that, we've had this technology for a long time. The one thing we do not want to do is argue with each other, because in numbers we are stronger. And if somebody wants to believe in aliens, let them believe in aliens. If you have a fear around it, then you need to collect your thoughts and your psyche and your inner being and find out, what are you really afraid of? And there could be very valid points of what you're afraid of. Very valid points. But it's not me that you're supposed to be attacking. It's not your neighbor that you're attacking. They're not the ones that are going to make or break this technology. They're the ones that are going to be there to support you and help you and love you and care about you. We've got to stop the divide. So this is my global predictions around what's going on with AI is next. And again, the whole mix is going to be this reverse engineering that's going to be coming into the picture. We're going to see that again in June and July, and also in December of 2025. If you're keeping up with it, great. If you're not, there's a great saying, and it's not all that wrong, and that is innocence is bliss. And if that's the world that you want to live in, that's fine. And don't force other people to live in your energy field of knowledge and knowing. Many of us are built, we are all built to survive. And the only way to survive is to know who to fear and what to fear, and to navigate around elements in your life that could destroy you. Some of that destruction is made up in our heads, made up by the media, made up by your neighbor. Really take a look at what is survival for you. Is the thought of it, is the knowledge of it, is the information around it going to mentally, emotionally destroy you? Then stay away from it. I 100% tell you, stay away from it. I have a larger field of understanding that this is all going to end up in a good place. No longer do I want to ignore that we have powers way beyond our knowledge, that we could have and always have the ability to utilize in our lives to make our lives healthier, happier, and more connected. It started with the pyramids. Take a look at some of the work around the pyramids. Just take a look at the pyramids. I mean, what are they? Take a look at Easter Island. Take a look at Stonehenge. There are some phenomena out there that make absolutely no sense, that humans, even to this day, could not build these things. So there is something out there that's different and unique and loving and caring and balanced and more advanced than we are. This is what I firmly believe. There's no way that we're that advanced. Otherwise, this world wouldn't be the way it is right now. We wouldn't have poor people, starving people. We wouldn't have extreme rich and extreme poor. We wouldn't have unhealthy foods on the shelf. There would be no such thing. We would be growing our medicine and growing our fuel that goes into our bodies. And we would not be destroying this heaven that we live in, this Eden that we live in order to make money. And that's what it comes down. Make money and have power. Now, my end one that I'm going to end with is the Canadian and the United States tariff. And any tariff that Trump, and I've known this right from the beginning, and I'm still on the fence around Trump. I'm not sure what his underlying reason is. I'm hoping that it is what I think it is, but it's also around power, and that's the part that is a bit sketchy for me. In order to win the battle that's going on right now, apparently, you have to have power. And the power is to fight against those that have more power than you, to destroy you or to destroy the people that you love and that you care about and the people and the land that you live on. If that's the case, then Canada and the United States together, and I said this 2 years ago, guys, I predicted that Saskatchewan and Alberta would merge with the United States. I'm not saying we're going to become American. We already are American, okay? I hate it when people say that. We are American. We're called North America. Canada and the United States is North America. And then there's South America. We're a continent. The reason is that, and I have not done the math on this. I have not done any studies around this. I have not looked at any graphs. So if anyone wants to comment who does have knowledge on this, please do share this with me. Is that if Canada and the United States taps into all of the oil resources that they have, I still think we need free energy. We don't need the oil part. But if they do, because that is a commodity, that is the resource. that runs this world. If they do that, if they join forces, we will have more oil, untapped or tapped, in the entire world. That makes us a powerhouse. They can't step on us. They can't use us for that. They can't hang it over our heads. They can't fight us for it. They can't create war around it because we don't need it. That's my one prediction around why he's doing that. Is that good, bad, right, or wrong? I don't think so. I don't think so. But we'll see. The idea that he's going to allow everyone to be autonomous and just run your life the way you want to run it to a degree, I think would make a lot of people find their own resources if that's what they want, if that's what they so choose. They want to find their own energy and use their own water and drill for their own wells and create free energy if they have access to it. Some of the places that you can take a look at that I've been following for a while is the Space Federation, which is with Nassim Haramein. Take a look at him. He's in Sweden. He is a radical physicist, and he's come up with free energy resources. Take a look at Greg Braden, Stephen Greer, Ed Snowden are some of just a few that I know. I wasn't 100% on board. I'm still very open-minded, and you can be as well. I hope this has helped you kind of look at an astrological view of what's going on in the world, and there's more to come. So subscribe, guys, and I'll keep bringing more. Namaste.